Hello, I am Nick Juno of North House Foods. I'm a project leader there, and I'm here to tell you about our new international project for our brand new product, morning coffee. North House Foods is the number one organic producer in Canada with over 20 products on the market and over 200 employees in Canada. We are partnered with Metro and Loblaws. Our market research has indicated a rise in coffee in these three new markets: India, Mexico, and Turkey. Our goals there are to implement our new product, establish brand equity in the three new markets, and successfully target market assessment and market positioning. Now, in Turkey, India, and Mexico, we'll be using the cultural gap tool and a Hofstede study to aid ourselves in stakeholder engagement and aid ourselves in the successfulness of the project. We now go live to North House Food representatives in our brand new markets, India, Turkey, and Mexico. Hi, we are now live with our project team in our three new markets. Firstly, let's go to Prashant and Trigana in India.
Namaste,
Namaste,
Nick.
Nick.
Hello, guys. Now Alvaro in Mexico.
Hola, Nick.
Hi, nice to see you again. And finally, Denise in Turkey.
Merhaba, Nick.
Perfect. So the purpose of this virtual meeting is to discuss our new product, North House Foods' morning coffee for our new international project. We're going to go ahead and we're going to discuss some of the market consumption, regulations, collaborations, and cultural risks and their solutions. So let me share the screen with you all now. All right. Let's start with Prashant and Trigana in India on industry insights.
Hi, I'm going to give you industry insights about India. So if you can see in the screen, there are two graphs, which is the first graph, which shows the projected sales report of coffee by 2025. So if you see, there is a humongous growth of coffee, which is going to be expected in the year of 2025. Also, the second graph shows that the retail chain coffee market in India as per the region. So if you can see, the north, south, and west comprises of lot of retail sales in coffee. So I believe this is the right time to hit the market in India for North House Foods.
Oh, that's great insight. Now let's go to Alvaro.
Thank you, Nick. Well, I have a lot of information to provide for you. Well, based on the last report developed by ProMexico, Mexico's government agency specialized in promoting investment in Mexico, there are some important facts to share. For example, do you know that 25,000 cups of Mexican coffee are consumed every second in the world? Amazing, isn't it? Or do you know that the coffee industry in Mexico has an economical, social, and cultural impact? Yes, Mexicans benefit from the profits generated from the coffee, but also drinking coffee in Mexico is a social and cultural phenomenon. In addition, the Mexican coffee industry creates more than 120 million of jobs. And well, you may ask, what about organic coffee? Well, there's an increase of 50% in the consumption of organic coffee, providing us with an opportunity to get into the market. Well, Nick, I think this is all that I have to share at this moment with you.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Alvaro. Now let's go to Denise in Turkey.
Hello again. So coming to Turkey, Turkey has an ancient culture of drinking coffee, and currently, as a result of globalization, young generations consume more American-style coffee. According to International Coffee Organization, Turkish coffee market is increasing year by year. According to latest statistics on coffee market growth, we see that the compound annual growth rate of Turkey, measuring the average value growth between 2012 and 2016, Turkey stood at 17.5%. So, which makes the Turkey one of the biggest growing coffee markets in the world. So it's a good time to enter this market.
Well, that's perfect insight. Let's go back to our friends in India for some regulations.
So coming to the regulations of trade in India, India has introduced a new scheme called Make in India, which makes it very easy for a company to collaborate with a local company, because it has various advantages in collaboration, such as there's a scope for sustainable business there, and the economical operation costs are very less, and there's organized employability and business friendly laws, which makes it easy for our company to establish a plant in India.
Oh, that's great. Alvaro, how about you in Mexico?
Well, thank you, Nick. Regarding Mexico, we have really good news about this. The first thing is to mention is that the coffee market in Mexico is growing. As you can see in the graph, there's an estimated increase of 2.5%, or in other words, 4.5 million of bags. In addition, NAFTA has been already reviewed and negotiated, and the coffee industry was not affected. That will be beneficial in the future for the coffee trade between Mexico and Canada. Something else that is important to mention about the coffee is that because it isn't consumed raw and it's exposed to a toasting and roasting process with high temperatures that kills bacteria, this makes the coffee exempt from several rules and regulations imposed to other foods products by the FDA. Well, Nick, I think that's all for now.
Perfect. Denise, how about you?
Regarding Turkish regulations, in last decade, Turkish international trade has turned its face to BRICS country, which means Brazil, Russia, India, China, also including Mexico. So in 2018, Turkey has just implemented tailor-made strategies to increase trade between Mexico and India. It will set specific strategies for these countries in order to get a greater share. As last year, Turkey's trade with India reached to more than $7 million in exports and more than $6 billion in imports. And Turkish foreign policy aims to increase these numbers, which will benefit also our project.
Oh, that's great insight, Denise. Now let's talk about collaboration. Prashant and Tribhuvan?
We have decided that we will collaborate with Kingsman Coffee, which is a local coffee producer in India, which produces organic coffee in India. So we have decided to collaborate with this company, as this is the first and foremost established organic coffee producer in India, and I think this is a good partnership.
That's great. How about Alvaro?
Well, thank you, Nick. We also recommend to create this kind of partnership, but in our case, it's going to be with Café Punta del Cielo. This is Mexico's #1 brand for organic and gourmet coffee in the market. Their quality standards are equal as the one of Northhouse Foods, and they are willing to partner with us in the introduction of morning coffee. Well, that's what I have to say about it, Nick.
All right, and Denise, how about you?
Okay, so Cafe Dünyası will be a best choice for collaboration because it's a company which is close to government. So if we choose this company, our trade processes will be much easier.
Perfect. Now let's talk about some cultural risks that might come up on this project and how we can solve them. Let's go back to our friends in India.
So the major cultural difference which I see in India, it would be first is gender equality. So basically equal opportunity should be given to both men and women. So we decided in Northhouse Food that equal opportunity, that there should not be any kind of gender bias, and there should be any difference between men and women. And second, can you move the slide?
Absolutely.
So the second challenge we face is power distance, where I see that power distance where the authorities is given to a single person. So in Northhouse Food, we decide that that equal opportunities and equal power should be given, and roles and responsibilities should be given to every person working in the company. So
well, that's great stuff, Prashant. Let's go back to Alvaro in Mexico.
Thank you, Nick. About the cultural differences and challenges, we identify as the biggest one the difference that Mexico has regarding the score of indulgency. This is the highest among the whole countries. That means that there is a positive attitude and tendency towards optimism. This could affect the way risk is managed, also uncertainty, as well as the way that we communicate problems. So we recommend about resolving this. Well, we need to create strategies to communicate it in a clear way, the projects and objectives of the project. And also when developing the risk management plan, it will be necessary to define together the impacts and the level of urgency of each risk when it's identified.
Oh, that's great insight, Alvaro. And finally, let's go to Denise in Turkey.
Regarding Turkey, our first challenge to be aware of is that the fragile political and economic situation in the country. The president has the ability to stop international trade, as happened during summer 2018 with United States. So as political system has become more autocratic in last 20 years, we should follow political tensions very closely. In that way, we can avoid any loss caused by sudden decisions taken by Turkish president. On the other hand, according to Hofstede study, Turkey has a collectivistic culture. So the harmony of the group must be maintained and any kind of conflicts should be avoided. So in our project, during defining our scope, leading and managing the project team, and while communicating, we should be aware of that Turkish culture has more tendency to build consensus rather than facing conflicts.
Well, that's some great insight, guys. Alvaro, why don't you tell us a little bit about our strategy for this project?
Yes, Nick, of course. Regarding the strategy developed, we propose to execute the following model. First, seeing difference. At this moment, we're already culture aware and already with forward actions for the second phase, that is closing gap. While implementing the proposed strategies based on the cultural gap tool, after that, we recommend to preserve balance and as third phase, while aligning all the cultural differences into the shared core values. Finally, as the fourth phase, we propose to establish solutions through collaborative work. And well, so that's all. And back to you, Nick.
Well, thank you very much, guys. That was great. Anything you'd like to say to our sponsors?
Well,
We want to thank.
Yeah,
thank you to our
Thank you
sponsors.
to our sponsors.
Yes. Thank you very much to our sponsors.
And we are excited to start this project in
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
We're very excited to start and have a great day. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
all right.
Thanks, Alvaro.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.